Hello, so today I'm going to show you how to do some printmaking from home with rubber stamps, because sometimes you have those, but if you don't, we're going to use different things around the house that you can find to make some stamping and printing tools with. I'm using this book called Print and Stamp Lab. It's an awesome book. Tracy Bunkers, you should get it if you can. It has great ideas for making tools out of things at home. So first of all, what we're going to do is make some things out of stuff we have at home. So I have a ruler, a little cutting pad. I have an X-Acto knife that I'm going to use, so be careful with this stuff. If you don't have that, maybe you have a pair of scissors. Scissors work fine too. One of the main items is cardboard, and maybe you have cardboard laying around your house, which I always do. I have this piece that I was using for painting on as a drop cloth, and now I kept it, and I'm going to use it for this. So we're actually going to even cut this down a little bit more. Another thing that I have is a hot glue gun, and if you don't have a hot glue gun, you probably will have some kind of glue laying around the house. Maybe you have Elmer's glue, maybe you have something like Mod Podge or something like that. So here is a tool that I already have made. It's a piece of cardboard wrapped with rubber bands. So basically, that's it for that one. Okay, so there you have your tool. This is one that I've already used. I put a few more on this one, but you get the basic idea about it. There is one that I made out of buttons. Okay, you can see this. And I just hot glued a bunch of buttons onto the cardboard. And I'm going to do a similar one, but I'm going to use paper clips. Careful not to touch the glue because it's hot. But now what I'm going to do is just take glue, a couple strips at a time. And just be careful, like I said. There you have it. Made out of cardboard, a cork, and paper clips. Okay, something else you can do. Take the cork and put hot glue around the cork. And then you're going to take two nails, push them into the sides, and then you have a little roller like this that you can print with. So you're going to take your hot glue and, go around it and just kind of spin it. So now you're going to let that dry. Once that is all dry, like this one is, then what you're going to do is take a nail, long nail. I don't really know if you need a hammer, but I'm going to use a hammer to make sure it gets in there nice and good. So you're going to go like that, just right in the middle. Put in a few taps. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side.
Whoops, dropped my hammer.
Anyway, that's in there, and now you can roll this into ink and roll it on your paper. Very cool. Another one that I like to do is I just had a sanding block, like a foam sanding block from the store, so you could use that, or again, you can use cardboard. I have some bubble wrap that I saved. But basically,
You hear it popping?
that's a stamp now made out of bubble wrap. And another one we can do is with strings. Okay, so now you have this, and like I said, you can print from
All sides of this.
Oh, and then the Mod Podge comes into play. In case you do want to seal it, you can, because then that makes these last a little bit longer. Now, one more thing you can do with your hot glue gun, or just almost glue or anything like that, what you can do is take your hot glue gun and actually draw on the cardboard with it. See, just kind of like that. Ooh, got my finger in it. Ooh, a little bit warm. Like I said, be careful. You're gonna leave it like that, and you're just gonna set it down to dry. I also have this like ribbed tool for ceramics. I'm gonna put hot glue all over this piece of cardboard. And then I'm actually gonna take this tool and see those little teeth on there. I'm actually gonna take it and scrape it through. And see, now we have this little design on there. And the best thing about the hot glue is it'll peel off when it's dry, of metal and different things. Alright, well that's the tool making part. Now let me just get it set back up again, and then I'm going to show you how you print with all these things. Hello there, welcome back to the print and stamp lab. So now that I have my tools made, I'm going to show you how to print with them. So I just have some paper cut down. It's just like some thicker weight paper, but I mean whatever you have at home. You can use computer paper like printing paper, or construction paper, really just about anything you want, even lined paper, because that could be actually pretty cool because it could add to your designs. Now what I'm going to print with is these little ink pads, but if you don't have these, you also can use acrylic paint or tempera paint, maybe even watercolor paint. So just try and use what you have and experiment. I do have these little trays just because I have them, but you know, you could use a paper plate or just a regular plate, and then you can peel the paint off. So what I'm gonna do is take this, you know, stamp it in there, get it nice and covered, and then you're just gonna print it on your paper. Okay, so there you go, we printed it. What I like to do is keep printing it until the ink stops printing. So I call it ghosting. So you're making a ghost print each time. So just kind of pick a spot. I'm going to try and do this more in a pattern, like on a line. And you see the different ways you push, you get different things. But I started here, so the ink is darkest here, and then it gets lighter each time, except for that one where I used more force with my hands. So that's another thing you can do. Reapply. You can try different ways of stamping it. So I'm gonna stand up this time and put more weight on it. And then you get an even darker print. So just mess around. And that's how you can make boring old rubber stamps a little bit more interesting. All right, so we got a layer, and I really like to do different layers and make lots of different colors and different designs on one page. So that's what I'm gonna do, and this stuff dries pretty quick, so it's not like it's gonna be smearing all around for you. But there, that was a rubber stamp using the ink pad. And now let's use something else. So like I said, here's a cork, and I have some blue ink, and I'm just gonna dip it in the blue ink. You kind of want to like move it around a little bit like this. You see, you get covered, and then put it on your paper. So you see the cork gives it some texture, so that makes it a little bit more interesting than just a plain circle. So you can see, that's interesting. And then maybe you're making a background for something else. Like you're stamping and doing all these things on here, but then you're gonna use it and draw back on top of it, you know, or collage with it. So you can do lots of different things. Like maybe you're making a card for somebody. You fold this in half, write a little note inside, something like that. Or maybe you just wanna make it for something to hang on the wall. But there you go. Now, the other way to do this is with the paint. So I'm gonna get a brighter color, maybe a green. So I'm just going to put this green paint right on top of what I already was painting with earlier, because I don't care if things mix and do things like that. I kind of like doing things like this to see what happens. So if you just leave this big blob and then push your stamping tool into it, it's just gonna be too much. So what I'm gonna do is spread it out a little bit with a paintbrush to kind of make an ink pad, but of course this is acrylic, so get it kind of thin. Now this is gonna give a way different look than your ink, but it'll still work really well. So you're just gonna do a little bit of the green on there. You might want to have another piece of paper nearby or something to blot it off with. That's what I'm going to do. I think I had a little too much. Now, sometimes you add some colors and you're like, okay, I just ruined that. But that's never true, because you always can just keep going and going. So if you put a mark on there that you really don't like, then just keep going until you do like it. I'm gonna get another piece of paper. And what we're gonna do is try out these ones with the hot glue. So this was the hot glue, it's dry now. And so I'm gonna take this paint that we were using and just actually paint it on there. You might have to do a little bit more pressure like we were before. But you know, not all of it shows up, but you get kind of an interesting mark. So that's kind of neat. Oh, if you have anybody at your house who drinks coffee and they use a Keurig and they use a K-cup, save them, because you also can use these as a stamp. There you go. That's kind of nice. Adds another layer on there. So we have all these letters in here. Or numbers. Ooh, here's the O. So like, okay, here's the letter O. So you can use that, you know, as a circle or a design element instead of a number or a letter. And see, now you have a nice little purple circles, a nice new element to the piece. You can do an eraser, use an eraser from a pencil. So I feel like we need a darker blue, so I'm gonna get some blue out here. You know, sometimes you might get a little too much on there, like I just did. Right here. Where is it at? Right here. That one's kind of thick. So I'm just gonna dip it back in. So there's that. This is looking kind of cool. Now let's try out some of these other ones we made. Like this one with the hot glue. Maybe sometimes you use something heavier to push it down. So that's what that made. And that was it each time without putting more ink on it. Well, let's do the bubble wrap. I love the bubble wrap. So I'm gonna use the ink pad for the bubble wrap.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
So that's the bubble wrap. What other one can we try out? Let's do the rubber bands, actually. I'm just gonna paint some of this on the rubber band. Whatever was on my paintbrush. As you can see, I haven't been washing my paintbrush out either. I just kind of like, whatever happens, happens. You can do once you mess around and print all these, then you can actually like make a landscape or something, like you know what kind of marks your tool's making, so then you can kind of plan ahead a little bit better with what you're going to do with the tools. Ooh, I have some tin foil also that I had, which I thought might be neat, so I'm going to wrap it. I'm just going to wrap it around this cord. And maybe we'll use some yellow. But I'm going to put some yellow paint out. I actually really like that now. That's interesting. Ooh, we can try one of these cork tools also.
I'm gonna run it through this purple ink pad a couple times. I'm not sure how good this will work, but we'll see. I'm gonna use one paper. Oh, it's a little bit better than I really actually like this one. It's a bunch of little dots.
Alright, so you can see all the little dots it made. Very cool. I'm gonna try this foam pad with all the different string we put on there.
I'm gonna say use all different sides. That's we're gonna use this side.
Hmm?
Ooh, I like that.
So there's that. It's interesting. And I think the last thing I'm gonna do to this is add a few of these swirly things.
So put some paint down over here. Spread it out like I said before. So I'm gonna take this, touch it on, and ghost it all over the paper. Let me give it a while a little bit. I feel like I'm a little crazy with that. But
I don't know. I kind of like it better now. It feels a little bit more cohesive. But now I feel like we need more blue again. So I'm going to take this O and maybe print a couple more blue dots.
they're quite not really that noticeable though.
But there you go. And like I said, afterward you can you know, draw back on top of these. Maybe you're gonna collage with them. You're gonna do something different with them. But that's about it for that. And now you just experiment, collect things around your house, and make some cool prints. And these are called mono prints or monotypes because they're all different. You're making one, mono meaning one. Even if you use the same stamp like I did here, these look nothing alike, you know what I mean? So you can get many different looks, many different things going on with these. So have a good time and experiment. See ya.